going on, guys? This is your girl, Miss Melony at FLK Studios. Shout out to Flock. Shout out to Divine. This episode has been sponsored by Flock Studios. Make sure you check them out. 333 West 206th Street in Washington Heights, the heart of Dykeman. B.A.R TV, brilliant and resilient. What's going on, guys? You already know it's your girl, Miss Melony, B.A.R TV, brilliant and resilient television, and I have the hilarious Marc Reign in the house. Marc, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Melony. Miss Melony?
Miss Melony,
Miss Melony.
Miss Melony.
I saved you on my phone as Miss Melony.
Yes, that's,
respect's gotta be
professional.
Right,
I'm 43 years old. I'm proud of my age.
Hey,
I'm grown. Miss Melony, put a little respect in it.
Cheers to that. Wow.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
this
thank
is beautiful.
you.
I'm excited.
We're here at Flock Studios. I love this place. It's our new home for B.A.R TV.
Nice.
Definitely appreciate the community here in Washington Heights. Marc, if you have been under a rock, is a hilarious comedian.
Appreciate that.
Before we get into all the work that you've been working on, pushing, and everything you've been doing amazing, tell me who is Marc. Tell me about where Marc comes from, your upbringing, and what led you to comedy.
Well, so okay, there's a lot. My name is Marc Reign. That's what I go by, and I'm from Spanish Harlem. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm also a little bit Peruvian. A lot of people don't know that.
I know that there's a little something different in you.
It's a little bit,
a little sazon.
But I was raised completely, Boricua. I didn't know that I was Peruvian until my early teenage years.
Okay.
I didn't know my dad's dad was Peruvian because he passed away when my dad was really young, so my dad never knew his dad.
Mm-hmm.
That whole Peruvian family, that culture, I just was never, around it. And so I'm trying to own it more, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Cause I feel like people do look at me and they're like, yeah, you Puerto Rican, but what else?
Something else is there. They can tell we know our people.
There's a
little sprinkle of some Peruvian, which sounds fly, by the way, to say.
I'm grateful.
Why
I'm
not
blessed,
say it,
right?
right? Yeah.
I gotta go to Peru, see what energy I'm catching from them temples, from the mountains. But yeah, and I'm an actor. I graduated with a bachelor in theater in 2012.
Oh, what school you went to?
City College.
Okay,
Shout
nice.
out to City.
All right.
Go Beavers. But
right.
and yeah, I started there. In 2010 I started, and I just completely fell in love with the art of storytelling in general.
Okay.
I started off as an actor. But then I self-taught myself photography, videography, editing, producing, just audio. Like literally, I wanted to know everything about this. I wanted to know that if I needed to set up something like this for just me, I know how to do that
without counting on other people.
Right. I was always trying to cut out the middleman, but in this
man show here.
Yeah, right. I mean, as much as possible, but
right.
What you have to understand is that you need a team.
Right.
It does take a village. These cliche phrases like, what is it?
You don't need nobody.
But no, with the dream team or what it takes those like, it takes a team or it takes a village. Those kinds of phrases.
Right.
It's true, and they exist because you can get but so far along. You know
right.
what I mean? Physically I could set all this up, but I mean the hassle, the stress of like. I literally used to do it though, because it was like a one-man show.
Right.
And ultimately had to pull back, you know, because I was doing it for about, you know, all of it for almost 10 years, where I was doing headshots. I mean, I was working weddings, bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, events. I was shooting product. I was shooting headshots, lifestyle. I mean, you name it, couple photography, I did almost all of it. Because number one, I needed money.
Right.
And I didn't want to work at a regular, like, day job. I was
Right.
like, you know, I quit my day job in 2015. I used to be a mechanical engineer. It's a whole nother life.
Right.
And I was like, and I was making good money there.
It is good money.
Definitely miss those checks sometimes.
I know.
That consistent, you know. But,
being an independent person,
right,
is different.
But I always knew that if I could just, you know, create and focus 100%, you know, for the most part of my time during the day, I could maybe make moves a little bit faster, you know, because I was still, when I had the day job, I would go to work, then come out 6 o'clock, and then still try to create and do something, film something. On the weekends, it was nonstop, you know, and then I was like, man, I could really make strides if I just let go of this job and I could wake up and create, you know. It's been a journey since 2015. But yeah, I mean, I love comedy. Comedy comes natural to me. I've always been
I was
kinda
gonna say,
silly.
because I see you like a comedian, but your love is just acting. You're an actor,
Right.
but the comedy kind of came natural, I guess, because of your
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah, I'm a very high spirited, high energetic person. You know, that's a big part of why I do what I do. I think, you know, being an artist in this medium, you know, I get to, people can feel your energy, you know, off the screen, on stage, you know, and that can really be motivating, that can be inspirational. And honestly, that's why I started this whole thing, because I felt that motivation, that inspiration from watching others on TV, you know, or movies do it. And I was like, man, like, this movie makes me want to work
touch
out.
people like that too, right?
Like, this movie makes me want to go do something, or, you know, it's not always a good feeling. This movie makes me want to go hurt somebody. You know what I mean? Like, whatever the feeling is, I knew that this was moving me.
Right.
And I was like, I want to be a part of that magic, you know? And so I threw my life at it in my entire being. You know, this is literally till I meet God. You know?
Right.
And it's been great, you know. But now, like I was saying, you know, I'm everything in transition. I'm like pulling back from everything that I used to do, because some people only knew me as a photographer. Some people only knew me as an editor. I used to work for a Latina magazine or editing. You know what I mean? Or as a videographer. I still get hit up, not so much nowadays because it's already been like 4 years since I let it all go, but I still get hit up like, hey, do you still take photos? Are you still editing? You know, I'm like, nah, I'm just an actor now. You know, because by this point, I've been doing this now going on 12 years. I know so many talented people and friends that if I needed something, I could just delegate that. You know?
Right. I'm such a team player myself too.
Yeah,
it's
like,
like,
I'd rather
you know what?
build a team.
That's why, shout out to Kiana the Goddess. I'll be like, I send her work all the time. I'll be like, you know what? I have a really good friend. I'm going to give you Kiana's number, you know, because, you know, it's certain things that it's like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. And if someone else, if that's their lane, pass it over. Let them do it, you know. Right. It makes sense. Now, so you quit your regular day job and went for your passion. Yes, now, I know that it has been challenging. I'm sure that nothing came easy. What would you say was your breaking point where you realized this is something that I'm going to keep doing and, you know, I made the right decision?
When I feel the effects of what I do, you know, from other people, right? For example, last year in the summertime, I did my own like Puerto Rican homemade parade in Spanish Harlem. Now, as you know, they canceled the parade and the festival. The festival happens in Spanish Harlem. Now, there were other parades, you know, I think in Brooklyn they had one, maybe in the Bronx, I'm trying to remember right now, but I know for sure Brooklyn had their own. But it's not the Fifth Ave parade. It's not the Puerto Rican parade. I was actually told that the Puerto Rican parade is actually the biggest parade in New York City.
It is.
Because my complaint, and I don't like to complain, but I'll call it that, you know, right now, it was that they took the parade and the festival away from us, but then 2 weeks later, it was another big city event, Pride Parade. And I was like, what's the difference in 2 weeks?
Right.
They had their parade. Why couldn't we get our parade? You know what I mean?
And they still did recently, I believe the Thanksgiving parade still lived.
almost,
all the other ones kept going.
Everything else.
But Puerto Rican parade didn't keep going.
Everything else.
Why did y'all do that to us? That's
almost
not fair.
Everything else still happened.
Yeah.
But the Puerto Rican parade and the festival, we got thrown. And so, I'm not here to whine or cry about it, but my thing was I woke up with this energy, my spirit was you gotta do something. And I threw a parade in Spanish Harlem. I put a call to action on my Instagram, and I was like, I need everybody to come with your flags, with your pride, with your passion, with your energy. I need you to pull up. We're going to serve as the Puerto Rican festival's spirit today.
Nice.
And forget it. I mean, the videos on my Instagram, it was insane. We started with maybe 25 people. At the end of it, it was over 100 people. We started with one car. It was 6 cars. People, can you imagine driving on your day and being like, yo, look at this little Puerto Rican parade.
Little baby parade.
I'm going to join this motherfucker real quick. I got a flag on my hood. Hold up. But I did a short version on my Instagram where you can see, and it was... I get chills on my bald head still when I think about it, because the effect that it had on the people was the biggest part for me. It wasn't, it wasn't from a place of ego where it was I created this. It was no, it was why? Everything with purpose. You understand?
We did this.
Everything with purpose with me. And so it was why are we doing this? The people that are, from Spanish Harlem, walking the streets of Spanish Harlem today, they're missing the festival. Now, I'll be honest, the parade and the festival hasn't been what it used to be and what it should be. Nowadays it feels like it's a little bit about something else, a little bit more commercial, more about money that actually has to do with the heritage of being Puerto Rican.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I digress.
Right.
But to get to the point, we were on 3rd Ave. I got all these people. I'm leading, it's crazy, because I literally was running from the back to the front to make sure that everybody, we weren't, because the cops didn't mess with us. Because they were watching me. I could feel they were watching me. They were seeing okay, I see what he's doing. I only took 2 lanes of 3rd Ave so the cars could still keep going. You know what I mean? I always made sure the car would, it was crazy, bro. I was literally running back and forward, leading. They run to the back, making sure people were staying with us, And this guy comes up to me in the middle of it. I think I was on 110th and 3rd, and he was like, yo, I just want to tell you thank you. In the middle of it. And I'm over here, telling people, move to the side. And I was like, of course, this is for the neighborhood, it's for the people, it's for the community, I feel like we need it. He goes, no, you don't understand, I'm not gonna be here next year. And I was like, we'll come back, because I'm doing this again next year. He's like, no, I'm not gonna be here. Wow. You just gave me my last Puerto Rican parade experience.
Oh, that made my hair stand up.
I was like, yo, bro, can't be crying in the middle of this parade, bro.
Right? Don't do that to me.
I can't be crying in the middle of the
plan
street
on it.
while I'm trying to lead this. You know what I mean? But I was like, wow, it was like that.
It was deep for him.
And that it was that effect. I didn't even think that could be a reality or a truth for somebody.
For people, right?
You just never know that there was a person out there thinking damn,
I'm dying soon. I'm not gonna see another one.
Right. I'm gonna be gone by next year. I'm never gonna see a parade, and they canceled it this year.
Right.
And then he wakes up, and here
comes Marc and
this troop of people. Holy shit! I gotta get in on this.
Right.
The old ladies were dancing. We passed by La Marqueta. They wanted us to join, but we couldn't because we had a big. I had one of my friends. She had this big steel, the pot where you make the rice out of. She was bing, 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 bing. Yo, forget it. It was something, And even a week or 2 later, something like that, I was in the street walking, in my neighborhood, and it was kind of, I think he was a homeless man. He seemed like a, struggling like that person just on the corner. And then he was drinking, and he did one of these. Hey, like that. He was like, you're the guy.
That's you.
You did that parade. He got up. He wanted to hug me, but COVID. I was like,
right, 6 feet.
I was like, yeah, brother.
Power to
He
you.
was like, yo, man, that was so freaking amazing what you did. Thank you so much. And here was this homeless guy, And that's when I started to realize, shit. I knew I was doing, sometimes you don't even think about it, and that's when the divine is guiding you.
Right.
When you're not thinking about it.
You're in alignment.
You're just going.
You're just going.
Impulse. That's actually an actor's thing. You know, that's actually an actor's thing. I tell people all the time, acting is a study of life, and not to get too deep, we might need like two more hours here, but because I could talk. Sorry.
It's okay.
You know, it is the study of life, and the best actors, you know, I don't know if you've heard this, but you have to live in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're on stage, when you're on camera and you're performing,
Mm-hmm.
you're not pretending to do nothing.
No.
This is really happening. This is in the moment, you know, and so the actors that can kind of run with that impulse thought are usually the ones that make something really extraordinary because you're not thinking about it. I took this acting class, and the moment that impulse is the divine thought. Once you start to overthink or water it down because now there's maybe some insecurities, or you're thinking about what other people are thinking, or all these other things, right? It could be 100 things. You know, it ends up being some watered down version of that impulse divine. You know,
and then you're no longer in alignment.
And it could still be good, but maybe it's not what it was supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that was a long answer to your question.
But that was the moment. That was the moment when you realized.
That was one of the moments.
One of the moments.
You know, because
one of the most recent moments.
A lot of moments.
A meaningful moment.
Yeah. You know, because like I said, everything through purpose with me. I'm not an actor so that I could be rich and famous. I think that those things are going to be byproducts of my career for doing what I love to do at the highest level. You see, but what I want to do is things like that. Move people, have somebody like, you know, you tell a story, and again, going really deep, this is all about perspective. I mean, life is about perspective, right? But it's like, if I tell a story, right, let's say you're a bully, but I can tell a story that bully can, you know, resonate with, right? And they're like, and you put them in the perspective of the person that's getting bullied. Then they see themselves. They can feel this person,
Right.
And this person may not have a change of heart and go, damn, I feel shitty for always picking on that kid, you know, because this is what this kid must have felt like.
Right.
That's the power of this, and that's when I, you know, it was that. I was like, I can essentially change the world.
Right.
Essentially, you know,
right.
Because there's a bazillion factors. But you know, you think about movies like Avatar, and there's a bunch more. But just to give you an example, how it comes out, you know, not only was it advanced in the technology and the way they shot it, but that thing created tribes around the world. Like people literally connected because of the movie Avatar, because they thought they were an avatar. Or they wanted to be an avatar.
I know.
Remember that?
Right.
It's crazy.
That tribalism too, in a good way.
Well, because it was so well written, you know, that to the, and it was this fantasy, you know, but it was such a human being story.
It was relatable.
It was hard
like you
to
were
not
able to connect.
It was
right.
hard not to connect to
Yeah.
this movie. You're like, shit, I wake up and feel like somebody, like maybe I'm an avatar, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it was, you know, small moments like that, you know, from being on stage, because I've done a lot of theater here in New York City, but I've done theater across the country actually.
Okay.
And it's moments like that where people, strangers, you know, that don't know you at all, come up to you and they thank you for your energy.
They connected with your energy
or your performance. You know, like I've had people come up to me with tears, like, wow, like you don't know, I had this person just pass away, and that scene, you know, you just don't know the type of healing that can be done through this art form.
Right.
You know, and so that for me was the moment. I was just like that, and when I saw my parents crying, you know, because when I made the switch from mechanical engineering to acting, they were like, I'm sorry,
what are you doing?
My dad, you know, was an engineer, you know, my mom a social worker, so it was always about, you know, stability financially and all that stuff. You know how, you know, when we come out, they're not like, yeah,
you're gonna be an actor. How are you gonna pay your bills with that?
You're gonna be a dancer?
Yeah.
Better practice that moonwalk, boy. Like, that don't happen at least not in the older generations. You know, I think now in this generation, like my nephew, you know, I don't have kids yet, but my nephew for sure, like, you know, it's you know, he's seeing it now, you know, because when I was growing up, I didn't see that, you know,
right.
And that's a large part why I did mechanical engineering first, because it was like,
what else do I do? You need money. It's a job, right?
I don't see people like me on, you know, and that was another big reason why I was like, you know what? Why not? We got one life to live. Make a decision and give your life to something. And I was like, whether it works or not, I gave my life to something, and I believe I can do this. You know, I can serve and represent Latinos on this kind of scale, you know, where I'm an action hero. And when I say that, I don't mean like Spider-Man, Superman, although I'll play those roles. But those are superheroes. When I say action hero, I mean like a Bruce Willis, like a Arnold Schwarzenegger, like a Dwayne Johnson, like a Will Smith, more specifically. You know, I think if I could function as like a Latino Will Smith, right, where you put me in any role, action, drama, comedy, because my range is that deep. There it is. We don't have that. There's not a single actor in Hollywood that you can point to and go, that guy right there could play any single role. Matter of fact, I want to see him in a car chase scene. I want to see him cry. I want to see him make, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have that. And I think we're working up to that now. You know, I know a couple of Latinos myself that are, you know, are breaking doors down in Hollywood, which I'm happy about. You know, because again, it's a team effort. You know, it really has to come from us. You know, my whole thing, you know, when I started this, because I used to do the auditions from commercial to commercial, literally running from one audition to the next downtown, trying to catch those commercials, trying to get on TV. That route is rough. I mean, it's no prettier than the indie route. But for me, I was like, I think I want to create myself and build with my peers. Right. I think that's the route.
Rather than going for
knock down and knock on these Hollywood doors. Let us in. Why I gotta be a drug dealer? Why I gotta be this or that? You know, the stereotypes. At some point, again, you have to learn how to do it yourself. Right. You know what I mean? Create it for you. You know, so that then they can see it. Right. Because they don't see it. They only see us as such and such. You know, and so for me, it was like, man, I know I could do these things. Right. But they're not going to give me the chance. I'm going to constantly get the thug. I've been on TV twice. I did 2 reenactment shows. I did one for Celebrity Ghost Stories. I played, I forget that comedian's name. I look nothing like the guy. But they were like, he's Latino. Hey. Gassed him. You know how many people were like, yo, you look nothing like this guy. I forget the comedian's name. He's a celebrity. That comedian that goes, what was his name? Carlos Mencia.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Do I look like Carlos Mencia?
Oh my gosh, no, but you did it.
But they were like, he's Latino. And I remember that, you know, I remember that audition. This was a funny audition. I never had to do this again. They called me into the office, and, you know, it's Celebrity Ghost Stories, so it's supposed to be kind of spooky and whatever, you know, and they make you do the weirdest things in auditions. And so, like, I pull up, and it's just me and this older white woman, you know, in a room maybe just about this size. And she's like, all right, so, like, I want you to get up, and I want you to pretend like you see a ghost. Are you ready? And I'm like,
This is real.
This is real life. What would you do if someone told you?
Oh, my gosh, that's a ghost.
Yo.
You have
to commit. You have to commit.
You have to commit. Full character. The ghost is coming.
And here's the thing. And for any actors listening, I'll give you a tip if you don't already know this. Like, you have to fully commit, and you really, you know, you have to you have to make decisions. You have to make choices, right, that are believable. It's not about just being scared. Right? I can't, because you can put the scared mask on. Oh my God. Ghost! Right? Ghost! Yeah. You know? Right? Try to do the right, but that's gonna come off comical. That's gonna look silly. You know, it won't be believable.
And they want that content,
so they want something real.
Right.
And so you have to. It's almost, you know, if you're an actor,
right.
What people don't understand is that everything is more internal than it is external. You see, everybody when you think about acting is like external. What does it look like out here? So I'm scared. I'm scared.
Right.
It's internal. You see, like, you know, and people don't think about this, the many different ways of being scared. And this is what I mean about acting, is a study of life, because you have to observe and then also think about these things.
Right.
Right? So I'm in here and I'm like, I'm not gonna do the ghost, you know? So it was like, I had to really commit and believe, because there's the magic is believing, that there actually was a ghost.
In the room.
And not only was there a ghost, but I saw it, and only I could see it, and where it was in the room. And it came from me at times. And she was only going to know that by what I was doing. You see? because it's not to be, you know, like if I all of a start, you know, it's like seeing a cat look at something, and all of a sudden, what the fuck is that cat looking at? Ain't nothing over there, you know, and then something happens, you know. Yo, I had that lady scared.
I knew it. I said he went into full character there.
Yo, forget it. It was like, you know, at one moment, it like, I imagine it was one of those, like, you know, those videos where like the thing comes out or the whatever, you know. And so you know, it was at the end of the audition where that happened, and I literally threw myself against the wall, like, oh shit, like I knocked down shit, you know. And then she was like, okay.
You got the part. You got it. Don't worry.
She was like, great.
We'll
let you know later that day. We want to offer you the role of
Yes, I love it.
But, you know, like, again, it was this, you know, it was like, you know, casting is a skill itself. Mm-hmm. You know, I've done a little bit of casting because I just know a lot of people, a lot of performers myself, and people, you know, are like, yo, do you know somebody like this? And I'm like, I don't know. Oh yeah, you know, and when you cast, you there's a lot of things to take in consideration, you know. And if you're gonna cast a young Carlos Mencia, he should probably look like Carlos Mencia a little bit, right?
Yeah,
just a little bit, right? Let's do a Muhammad Ali movie, and he looks nothing like Muhammad Ali. Like Will Smith had to somehow embody him a little bit, right? You know, even if it was in voice and in posture. And so they don't care though. That's the point. And the other show I did was called Poison Passions. You can show that here too. I actually had hair back then. Actually, I had hair for both of these. But,
if you send me a little clip, we
I
can
got
actually...
You. I got you.
I'll put the clip in.
I got you.
Take a break right now. Watch the clip. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Got a name?
Serafin.
Last name?
Hernandez. I do bad things. Bad things.
Like what?
What if I told you I kill people?
And now we're back.
You gotta take me. You gotta tell me when to take a break, because as you can see.
No, we're back. That was nice.
You see that? But you see what I'm saying? Like in that one, I was like, I played a killer in jail. You know, I was being interrogated, and this was actually the first fun fact. This was actually the first time I smoked a cigarette. Because I don't smoke cigarettes, but the character smoked a cigarette.
Oh, so yeah.
And so the director was like, we'll fake it. You know, we'll get one of those fake cigarettes, or you could just, you know, off the mouth. No, I'm not one of those actors.
I'm not that actor.
I was like, get me a fucking cigarette.
I'm going to smoke the cigarette.
We gonna do it. I was like, if I gotta smoke 5 cigarettes because we gotta do takes, I'll be fine. I'm not gonna be like, I need cigarettes now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Although I think it's that addicting, you know, you just have to be strong in the mind.
Right.
But point is, they saw me only as, and that was pretty cool because that was the first time you heard my voice off the TV. Like I'm talking to him and I'm like laughing, I'm like taunting him a bit because I'm a killer. I'm like, yeah, you know. And so that was another moment where I was like, damn, this is kind of crazy. You know, like I'm seeing me on the TV right now.
This is working out for me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a very long answer as always.
Hey, I love his long answers, you know. I want you to let them know what projects you have coming up aside from the Boogie movie. Shout out to the Boogie movie.
You mean including the Boogie movie? Shout out to Boogie. Shout out to Macho.
Yes.
Shout out to the whole team, man. I'm always, you know, you have to stay creating. Self-improvement should be a lifestyle. You know, I think for people in general, no matter what you decide to do in this life. You know, the moment you feel like you've got it done, you figured it out, you learned all you can learn, I think you're done.
Right.
But I'm working on a lot right now. You know, we'll start with the Boogie. You know, I love the Boogie. It's an indie feature film. It's a comedy, but I love this comedy. It's a dramedy because it's a comedy, but it's dangerous. Like this is like it really does give me like a Don't Be a Menace. You know, Friday vibe, and like something a little bit more dangerous. I don't even know. I think Macho has a better comparables, but it really is that silly comedy that we don't see a lot anymore. You know, like that really like scary movie silly.
Right.
You know, the first two, because the ones after were really bad, really bad. But the first two, like, man, like that's so exaggerated. You know what I mean? Like it's like you know,
right.
but it's real. It's here in the Bronx. People die in this comedy,
right.
You know, like you don't see that in comedy a lot,
right? You
know, and so I'm excited to be a part of that, you know, and tell this story. I also have another film going on right now that I'm also currently shooting for. It's called Puerto Rican Paradise.
Okay.
And this will be a different look for me. It's not a comedy, it's a drama. I've done dramas, but this is like really heavy.
Real drama.
Like, yeah, like my energy's down here and I'm like right here. And it's like you say the wrong thing to me, I may just fucking shoot you in the face, you know. And it's that kind of like, it's about these Puerto Ricans that end up opening up a chain of brothels in the Bronx.
Oh, that says it all right there.
Yeah.
Don't give us too much of the sauce.
You know, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Super rated R.
Nice.
And looking forward to that. You know, both productions are going to be really solid. I have faith in both. I have a couple of films coming out this year. I have a film called Playing Sam. Shout out to Ramon Pasante. That's my boy, the director. That film's going to be great. Shout out to Jenny Ruiz, that she plays the lead actress. I play a social media influencer, actually, in that film, which is pretty funny. Who knew?
Relatable.
Who knew?
How would he get casted
How could
for
I
what
do
he
this?
really does?
I don't know if I can really do this. No, it's not. You know, but what's interesting is that it's a social media influencer who has ideas and wants to get into more serious acting. And then he meets this girl, and she's a serious actor, and she doesn't fuck with social media influencers. And so it's kind of like this dynamic, you know, not to give too much of the sauce away, but that's coming out soon. I can't wait for that. You know, I also have another film called Fiddle Me That. Okay. That's a romantic comedy. I'm excited about that. They flew me out to Dallas to shoot that. And that's a romantic comedy. You know, it kind of almost speaks for itself about this guy, you know, not... When is he going to settle down? When is he going to settle down, you know? And so I kind of play the wild friend in that one. You know? I'm kind of like the one that's like, you don't ever want to be settled down. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Nah, just stay single, bro. Come with me. I need a wingman for life. You heard?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that kind of guy.
Exactly.
And then I have another film. It's a short film. I'm really excited about. It's called Fuego. Shot that in San Diego. That one I'm really excited about because I get to play like a little bit of the voice of reason. You know, and we don't see that a lot for Latinos on camera. We're the voice of reason. Like, you should probably listen to him. You know, this is a thinking guy. But all of them have their own fun to it. You know what I mean? Nice. And a lot, you know, there's a lot. I'm probably forgetting stuff right now because it's just kind of a lot. Shout out to Javed Tequila.
Right,
know,
so you're a
Dr.
brand
Javed.
ambassador for Javed, right?
Yeah, that
Anything else?
recently.
What else, Superman?
Know,
what else do you do?
Like,
Anything else? Let them know where to find you, how to book you, how to cast you, how to get the bag.
Facts. Just hit, you know, follow me on Instagram. That's where I mainly exist. Yeah, although I'm like on every platform.
Okay.
But Instagram is my home. At Marc with a C, MARC _Reign. That's REIGN. Marc Reign. And yeah, just stay tuned with me there. I'm always posting about what I'm, you know, all the works, all the films. Catch up on the skits. I say binge me in my bio because I feel like you really can't go and like just binge. Like, yo,
right.
Every, like, you know what I mean? And this is just me feeling, you know,
right.
feeling
myself. Feeling myself.
Right. You just go click on every skit. And it'll be funny. Let me stop. But you know, I have like a lot of content even from before people discovered me that I think if you went and you saw those earlier skits, like those are really ridiculously funny too. Okay. And so come check me out. You already know.
Now, what advice would you give to your younger self or to a younger person out there that has the dreams that you have?
My advice would be to try to think through as far as possible a plan, you know, for yourself, you know, that is gonna, you know, kind of produce progress. You know what I mean? It's really the journey. It's not the result. People, when they see this, they just want to be on the big stages and the big movies.
I want a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
This thing will test you to the end of time, literally. And it's all in levels. It's like you got to do 100 like student films, you know, maybe not 100. I'm exaggerating right now, but do everything you can possibly do, and don't limit yourself. You know what I mean? I think that's another secret to my progress. Has been not limiting myself. You know, I've had to let go of friends. Like you got to understand that not everybody's going to make it.
Talk about it.
To every decade of your life. You know what I mean? Or you know, every half decade even. You know, especially when you're younger, you kind of grow up with friends and you think those are the people that are going to support you the most or be there with you the longest. And in my experience, in my personal life and also observing life, it's very rare.
Right.
That you could have a friend.
Someone you start with and end with.
You know, somebody, because you understand, you live many lives in this one life if you if you're out there going for it, you know, and those people, those friends, you know, they serve their purpose in this lifetime for you, right? Because then all of a sudden, like for me, example, when I went from mechanical engineering to acting, those friends that I had before, and it was like 10 plus people, you know, they didn't really support. They couldn't come around to the idea that now I wanted to be this artist. I wanted to be this actor, you know, and so the support it was like almost backhanded compliments, you know. It was like, oh, a little play, or oh, a little, you know, and I, you know, and
trying to devalue your work.
Right. And so for any your young people listening, like, just know that that's okay, and you're gonna be better. You know, it will hurt. It takes time. You know, when I had to cut out like 10 plus people, and that's a whole other story because of a relationship that went south.
Right.
But, you know, everything happens for a reason. You never know what life is building you up to. You know, and when that happened, my acting career actually took off because I realized that...
You let go.
Right, because what you have to understand, especially for the young people, is that sometimes you really will hold yourself back, you know, for the sake of someone else's happiness or security or
feelings.
Maybe, you know, feelings. It was like, and I'll give you an example.
Opinions.
Like, I didn't, you know, sometimes like I felt like I couldn't do something because I was like, what are these people going to think about me trying to do this new thing?
Right.
Oh, you ain't never wanted to be an actor. Now you an actor? Nah.
Right.
Oh, you ain't never danced. Now you dancing. Oh, you ain't never sang. So you a singer now? Yo, I swear to God.
The naysayers.
Like, and they didn't say any of these things. All this lived here.
I was gonna say that.
They didn't say that.
Did you ever find yourself at the battle point where you're like, maybe they're right?
Well,
how
you know,
did you overcome
think,
that in your brain? How did you overcome it?
You have to know yourself. And I know that's a lot easier said than done.
Right.
People go their whole lives not actually knowing themselves, only just going through the motions of this machine, the system that we're born into.
Right.
You see, who are you, right? Like, and you have to explore these things. You have to. Have you tried to dance? Have you tried to sing? Have you tried to draw? Have you tried to act? Have you tried? Like, you have to literally go out and do these things, apply yourself, and then that maybe isn't for me. Right? Or actually I kind of like that. Maybe I want to practice that more, get better at that. You have to know, you know, and for me, I'm always still learning about myself. I think you have to constantly, again, self-improvement is a lifestyle, you know, but I knew enough of me that it didn't matter what anyone else said. Right. It was like, well, if that's what you think, that's what you think. Well, like this, I know I can do this. And at first, it's probably going to be just you that believes that.
Right.
Like, just know that. And that's
nobody else.
Okay.
But it's okay.
Nobody has to believe in you but you.
Right.
You understand? Like, you know, when I started this, again, everyone was like, what? Like, it was like, that's such a hard field. You know, all those negative things. And I was like, look, I get it. But don't tell me I can't do it, because we sit here and we watch the TV every day of people doing it.
Right.
Those are robots, or those are human beings actually being recorded on camera? Because they look like human beings to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was the thought.
They're doing it.
I was like, these people are doing it?
I could do it.
I don't know how to do it, because I don't got nobody.
But I'm going to do it.
Because I don't know anybody in my family that's ever done it. And that was more of a reason to do it. You see, because it was like, you know.
I want to be the change.
Right. You know, and I would always, you know, I love my parents, but it was like they could only know and support me as far as they could, right? Because they have no idea what it's like to be an actor.
Right.
They have no idea of this industry. They only know what they see and what they think, right? But the only person in my family, entire family, that knows how to make it in this industry is me. I'm the only person. And I don't even know how to make it. But do you understand that? Like, no one's in it but you. No one's in it but you. And so you got to just go out there, self-improve, be honest with your work, you know, because it's not enough to go and perform or create something, right? And then have people go, I love that. That was great. You're great. And then that's it. No. You got to be able to, thank you. At least this is me, personal speaking. You know, it's always been, whether it was a video, a photo, a performance, it was like, thank you. And then it was always, how can I get it better?
Mm-hmm.
How can I have done that better? I've taken great shots.
Critique your own work.
I could have been a celebrity music video, photographer, videographer. I mean, like, I was doing all these things at a very high level because I always self-improved. It was like, they were like, oh, that music video was great. I'd be like, thanks. How do I make this? Reference to a very high-end professional video. And I'm like, how do I get this to look like that? It's the camera, it's the lens, it's the lights, it's the location. It's just all these things of self-improvement, that kind of kept me solid, And I think the last part to that equation is faith.
There we go.
Whether it's faith in God or whatever your belief system, or faith in you. You need to have
believing
faith.
in yourself. That's
you
it.
have to have faith in somewhere.
You gotta have faith. The faith.
That keeps you
Shout out to George Michael. I love
solid.
that song. Yes.
That keeps you solid.
Yeah.
Because they're definitely this industry, this career path doesn't come without doubts. It doesn't come without fears. I mean, that's almost anything, but especially this one, you understand, because there's no certainty that you'll actually see the cross line that you envision. Right? Because success is going to look different for other people.
Right.
But the success for your vision, right? You have to be so solid because, other people's successes can disturb your peace.
That's right.
Your failures, your rejections can disturb your faith. All these things. And the magic has just been solid. All right, that's good. I'm struggling now. That's fine. The next thing is coming, and make sure you put your heart into whatever you're doing.
That's right.
Don't half-ass nothing. I don't understand that. People are like, and this is just me, but people only want to do as far as they're paid to or as far as the responsibility that they've been given. And I get that. I'm not gonna judge nobody. If you're not paying me extra to do this extra stuff, I'm not gonna do this extra stuff.
Right.
And I get that. But you have to understand the benefits and the value of going harder.
The extra mile. Right.
Go harder.
Right.
You're literally doing just the bare minimum. So you're going to get the bare minimum. Pay you $100 to do this little small thing. Cool. If you're happy with that 100, then just do that small thing. But if you want more, you gotta do more. Without the pay, it's not about the money. It's about the purpose. It's about what you're doing. It's about what you're trying to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's always been my thing. Any little job I've had, I've worked supermarkets. I've worked all kind of side jobs because you gotta survive in this world, of course. But whatever I did, I made sure I did it maximum potential.
50%.
Every single boss I've ever had always wanted to keep me. Always was mad that I left.
Yeah, I know.
And you want to be that person, I think, because there's value in that,
Right.
And, you don't want to be the heartbreaker, but you want to be the hard worker.
Right.
And so I'm talking too much again. My fault, y'all.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Listen, we love Marc. B.A.R TV, brilliant and resilient television. Make sure you tune in to Marc and everything he has going on. Check out all his projects.
Thanks.
Binge him, like he said. Co-binge him. Get to know him. And much respect. Thank you again for giving us your
Miss
time.
Melony, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Shout out to B.A.R TV, my brother. Thank you. Hopefully we get to do this again. Thank you for watching. I hope all of that made sense.
It did. I love it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. That's a wrap.